Do you want to become the absolute strongest lifter you can possibly be? Maybe you have even bigger goals. Maybe you want to be one of the strongest powerlifters in the world. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things that were absolutely vital in me becoming one of the strongest powerlifters in the world by achieving a 2,315 pound total. That's 1,050 kilograms. Now, if you share big goals like that, this video is for you. Let's get it. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you think you're strong enough. There's always someone out there stronger than you. Always. Okay, so while you're not competing, they are. And they're getting stronger, and they're getting closer to your goal. And that sucks. So get your ass to work. You're comparing yourself to someone who is juiced to the absolute gills, and they lie about it. But you now think that they're natural, so you can achieve that too. So you go into your training, into your endeavors, right? Full of hope, full of determination and excitement, prepared to work to achieve these things. But the reality is you won't even get close. And that sucks to hear, but someone needs to tell you. Yeah. And welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Now, today I'm going to share with you 4 things that were really important for me in obviously becoming one of the strongest powerlifters in the world. Now, I plan on being extremely transparent with you because I think that there's a lot of influencers and individuals out there, right, that people look up to, but those individuals themselves aren't transparent in what they've had to do to achieve these things, right? So I kind of want to break that barrier down today and let you guys know what it truly takes to become elite, okay? And I want to share with you a couple of different perspectives. I think that's really important, right? Because this elite thing, being the best at something, it doesn't just take from you physically, right? It takes a toll on you mentally, it takes a toll on your social life, all sorts of things. And I really wanted to share that with you because you need to know. And of course, one of these things that I'm talking about today involves PEDs or steroids. So if you want to hear about that, please make sure you hang around and we'll get to it. Now, the first thing, right? The first important thing that you truly need to understand about becoming the absolute best at something is that you need to become absolutely obsessed, okay? It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, whether it's powerlifting or fucking chess. If you wanted to become the absolute best at something, meaning one of the best in the world, you know, beyond the best of your own ability, essentially, right? You have to immerse yourself in it. You must become it. You must be consumed by it, right? It becomes an obsession. It becomes an identity, right? I'm not saying that that's healthy, okay? Because peak performance isn't healthy in whatever sport that is, right? To achieve absolute greatness, it takes great sacrifice. People don't really understand what that means, okay? Now, as I said, I'm not just talking about physical sacrifice. When you become absolutely obsessed with something, other people around you may not understand that. They're not on your level because it's not as important to them, right? It's your obsession. You fucking go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it, right? That's what it takes. That's the level of dedication and obsession it takes to achieve something great. Now, I'm not saying that if you have obsession with something, it guarantees success. That is just one thing that you must have. And now I want to say this, that's not for everybody, okay? A lot of people aren't aware that they probably don't really want to be the best at something because of the sacrifice it takes. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, really, is that it sucks. It can absolutely suck. I'm not trying to deter you from it, because if you have goals, right? It doesn't matter if I sit here and tell you you shouldn't do it. If it's important to you, you will do it, okay? It was important to me, and I sacrificed a fucking lot for it, okay? I don't regret that at all. Was it hard? Absolutely. Would I do it again? I might not do it the same way, but I'd consider it because I'm very proud of what I achieved, right? I achieved a 1,050 kilogram total, 2,315 pounds, right? Now that stood as the biggest total ever in Australia in the 140 kilogram or 308 pound weight class. It stood for over 3 years as the biggest total ever. And I believe I was ranked as high as 4th in the world all time in that weight class. That was in 2020, okay? And I've had some time off since then. And as you can see by my training, that things have ramped up again. I have that competitive taste back in my mouth and I want it. I've started to become obsessed again. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I won't become obsessed with it, because I can see that happening. Because again, I have huge goals. I didn't achieve everything that I wanted to achieve last time. There's still more that I want, right? And it's still really important to me. But I also understand the toll that can take. And as I said, that was a while ago, and there's things in my life now that are perhaps more important than that, right? But that may not be you. This may still be everything to you. So if you want to achieve big things, you need to go and get after it. You need to obsess on it. It needs to become who you are, okay? So that's just reality. I'm not saying that that's healthy. It's not. It's unhealthy. It's a toxic fucking relationship with strength training. But if you want to become the fucking strongest person on the planet, that's what it takes. You know what I mean? And some people can swallow that, some people can't. That's what she said. But the fact remains the same, right? You must become obsessed if you want to become successful. And if you just want to be really, really good at something, that's fine too. You can be really, really good at this. You can be really, really strong. You can look really good and have a healthy, balanced social lifestyle, right? And good mental health and a good relationship with the gym. But don't expect to be the fucking best, because you won't. To get that last 5%, it takes everything from you. Everything. That's real talk. That's the first one, baby. We're back in a minute with the second. Yeah. All right, baby. Now, number 2. Now, if you want to become the absolute best powerlifter you can be, one of the best powerlifters in the world, well, you have to compete, and you have to compete often, okay? People get this wrong. They come into this sport and they want to wait for the perfect time to compete. They want to wait until they're strong enough to compete, right? You hear that all the time. Oh, I'll compete when I'm hitting such and such numbers. No one cares, right? If you want to become the best lifter, the best power lifter you can, you're going to need to actually practice competing. It's a different ball game. If you're not used to lifting, obviously with 3 judges that are scrutinizing every little thing you do, right? While you're attempting a new max for a squat, bench, or deadlift, if you're not used to people trying to find fault in that, that's going to be different. If you're not used to having heaps of people in front of you moving around, screaming, doing whatever, right? That's going to throw you off. And then you have the competitive pressure, right? You have other people you're competing against, right? You might be, chasing someone. Someone might be on your tail. There might be something at stake for these lifts. If you're not familiar with that, it's going to throw you off, right? So, to become good at competing, you must compete often. It's like any other sport, right? Team sports. They play friendlies generally before a tournament, before a season. They practice playing. They do the same shit in training though, don't they? Right? But they need to practice playing because it's different when other people are involved. Same with fucking individual sports, right? There'll be trials and things like that before they step onto big competition platforms. Same with powerlifting. If you want to compete at big competitions and you want to reach those levels, you need to pay your dues. You need to step on the platform as often as you can, especially early on, right? In the first, let's say, 2 or 3 years of your powerlifting career, I would say get yourself on the platform at least 3 or 4 times a year, okay? That would be a lot if you're an advanced lifter, but trust me, if you're a newbie-ish lifter, intermediate even, 3 to 4 competitions a year is absolutely okay. And your goal should be to get stronger each and every competition, right? Hitting PRs every competition. Because you need practice competing to get better, but to also get stronger, you need to continually be progressing, right? So if you're not competing, how are you really marking your progress? Because gym lifts are gym lifts, right? And they're cool, but we're talking about powerlifting, okay? That means you're competitive. That means you're in the sport. Now, if you're not in the sport per se, and you want to be the strongest person you can be, you're already selling yourself short by not having competition, okay? So think about this whole me versus me thing, right? That's a really nice sentiment. But in reality, if you're only versing yourself, who is pushing you to be better? It's always fantastic to compete against stronger people than you, to train with people that are stronger than you, right? Surround yourself with people that are stronger with you, because if you want to achieve big things, you got to be around it, baby. You got to surround yourself with it. You got to become it, right? It's like being obsessed. Part of it is being obsessed with training, being obsessed with competing. And competing is stressful, okay? It's tough. It's full of anxiety. I feel fear. Me still, I've been doing this for 10 years, coaching, competing. I still feel anxiety and fear before I compete. I overcome it, and I've learned how to deal with it, but earlier on, it used to throw me off a little bit, right? I didn't have it under wraps. I wasn't experienced. I wasn't familiar with the process, so I let that get to me a little bit. But these days, I'm much more level-headed. I know what the deal is, and I know that everything's gonna be okay because I've been there and fucking done that. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. So, if you wanna be the fucking best, you gotta be in it to win it. You better compete. If you're new to this game, baby, get on the platform as soon as you can. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you think you're strong enough. There's always someone out there stronger than you. Always. Okay, so while you're not competing, they are. And they're getting stronger, and they're getting closer to your fucking goal. And that sucks. So get your ass to work. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, yeah, baby. We're back in a minute with the next one. Let's go. All right, baby. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about, it's not the steroid thing yet. We'll save that for last, because I think a lot of you want to hear that, right? But I think a lot of you need to hear these first three things first. They're also really important. Now, what is absolutely essential in becoming the best lifter slash competitive power lifter you can be is having a coach and being coachable. Now, I'll use myself for an example. I have been coaching and competing for nearly a decade. I have a coach, okay? The best powerlifters in the world have a coach. And a lot of people that have these aspirations of becoming the best lifter in the world, they seem to think that having a coach isn't that important and they can do it themselves. And like, love the confidence, mate, but in reality, we need other people, all right, to be able to tell us sometimes when things aren't going as they should be, because, let me be real clear, it's easy for me to see people's errors and mistakes when I'm coaching them. Very easy, right? For some reason, it's never as easy to see when it's yourself. Whether we struggle to be completely honest with ourselves sometimes, maybe we don't quite see the same things, right? But if we have someone who we trust, who is very knowledgeable, that can assist us with these things, right? Whether it be helping with technique, with programming, etc., it's very important to know that there's always something we can benefit or learn from when it comes to other people in this sport. There's some excellent people out there, there's some excellent coaches out there. Yes, there's a lot of trash, of course, but there's a lot of good as well. So if you want to become the best, okay, you need to become the best technician you can become with lifting, right? You can raw dog it all you want, you can just muscle shit up, all right? Been there, done that. At some point, if you want to become ultimately strong, you need to be a big dog, you need to have strength, but you need to be a technician as well. Having an excellent coach will help you with that, right? Because it doesn't matter, as I've said, what program you run, if your technique's shit, you're gonna be a shit lifter at the end. You might be pretty strong, but you're never gonna be as good as you could have been, right? And you've seen that a lot. You probably see it with powerlifters a lot. There's like really strong guys, but they kind of lift like shit and they don't hang around for long because typically they get hurt. Now, that's again why coaching is so important. It helps us to remain injury-free. You want to be really good at something, you got to be in it for the long haul, meaning the more time you can spend under a bar, not injured, the better for progress, okay? Now, I understand that sometimes paying for coaching isn't an option, okay? I understand that the economy in wherever you're from probably sucks right now because it sucks here. I totally fucking get that. I'm a business owner. We've all felt the fucking sting, right? Get it. That's why I started this YouTube channel. That's why I make so many videos based around tutorials, around helping you guys, right? Because I know that coaching is sometimes inaccessible. So for those people, what I would suggest is do your best to run a sound program, okay? You can do your own programs, make sure it's a good program, and of course, make sure you're using excellent technique. Now, if you struggle with technique, you're not sure what to do, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Go and check out all my tutorials, right? I guarantee you they'll help you add kilos or pounds to your squat, bench, or deadlift immediately. Now, if you're unsure of programming, well, quick plug, cultstrength.square.site, I have squat, bench, and deadlift programs, okay? As I said, you can run your own programs, that's fine. You may have someone else do your programs, but make sure you're running a good program. Be honest enough with yourself to know you may not know everything, right? And you don't have to know everything. You at least have to have people around you that know things that you do not. And that is absolutely essential. I've surrounded myself with people, okay, coaches, etc., that know things that I don't. So I learnt. I was a sponge. And then I've been able to pass that information onto my clients, right? That's how it works. So when I say be coachable, when I say have a coach, what I truly mean is be a sponge, be willing to learn, be humble enough to know that you don't know everything, okay? Be humble enough to know there's other people that may know more than you, that can help you more than you can help yourself with certain things, right? I would say that's the biggest takeaway from that. Be coachable, be open. Be open, be always willing to be better, and always know you can be better. The moment you think you're a perfect lifter, the moment you think you're the best, you're absolutely fucking not, and you're not gonna progress anymore, because we can always get better. So that's the third one. If you have any questions so far, please drop a comment, but we'll be back in a moment with the big one. We're gonna talk about PEDs and steroids, the fucking devil. Blah. Back in a minute. All right, now it's time to talk about steroids and PEDs, right? But before we do, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've learned something, please like it, let me know what you've learned in the comments, and subscribe for more content like this. Now, the fourth thing that was absolutely vital in me becoming one of the best powerlifters in the world, right? And again, this comes down to transparency. Now, I would not have achieved my 1,050 kilogram total, or 2,315 pounds, right, without the use of PEDs. That's just me being honest with you, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, with, you know, time and determination and consistency and nutrition that I could achieve that. That's fucking bullshit, man. Now, I'm saying that as someone who is genetically gifted naturally, right? I'm naturally a strong, athletic dude. I still would not have achieved that without the use of PEDs. Now, I will say, I've never abused it. I've never gone crazy, but I have used, I would say, reasonable amounts, right? And when I achieved that total, I was using a reasonable amount. Now, if I was to do it again, I wouldn't use that same amount, but I still think that I could get stronger, right? Because yes, you do get stronger over time, right? I can get stronger over time. However, if I was to stop taking steroids, right, and become a completely natural lifter, it would be naive of me to expect that I could be the same lifter I was if I was taking gear, right? It's two different things. Now, when it comes to expectations, we'll say, right? A lot of people look up to influencers. They look up to athletes. And these individuals are sometimes the opposite of transparent. They will flat out lie to you about their cycle use, their PED use, right? They will tell you they've achieved these things completely naturally with the use of course, the brand of supplements that sponsor them, right? What a load of garbage, okay? But some people believe that. Then what happens is your expectations of yourself become up here, right? You're comparing yourself to someone who is juiced to the absolute gills, and they lie about it. but you now think that they're natural so you can achieve that too. So you go into your training, into your endeavors, right? Full of hope, full of determination and excitement, prepared to work to achieve these things. But the reality is you won't even get close. And that sucks to hear, but someone needs to tell you, okay? Have reasonable expectations for what you're doing. I am not saying you should do them, absolutely not. I'm not saying that you should never do them either. Those decisions are always up to you. What I'm saying is, if you're not going to use them, make sure your expectations aren't up here. Make sure they're realistic for you and being natural, okay? That's really important because I see people crushed constantly by the fact that they're never getting close to these things that they want to achieve, but they don't really know what it took for that person to get there because those people don't talk about it, and I do. And it's good to see more people being transparent about it. I'm not the only one these days, but there's still a lot of people that lie about it, and it's ridiculous. They lie about it to save face and to get a few dollars. And that's the reality we live in, okay? So what my point is here is that I couldn't have achieved what I did without them. And that's just a fact, okay? I wouldn't have had those goals, though, if I wasn't taking them. I knew that. I knew what I wanted to achieve, and I knew what I was willing to sacrifice to do that. And I did it, okay? And that's always going to be a personal decision. But you need to have the knowledge because knowledge is power. Okay, you need to be aware that when you're chasing these huge goals, right, when you have such big desire, you just need to know what it takes to get there. Okay, there's no point starting the whole fucking journey with no awareness of what you're going to have to do to really get there, because it's not as easy and as simple as people think. As I've spoken about today, I became obsessed over this shit. Okay, I lived and breathed it. Absolutely. I competed like a monster. Any comp I could get on the platform, I was there. I was in the gym too much. I was hungry. I had a coach. I was willing to learn. I was willing to drop the ego for a while to learn something that will make me better and make me stronger, okay? And I also made the sacrifice of taking PEDs, knowing what risks come with that. There are 4 things that I had to do to give myself a chance, a fucking chance like this, right, of achieving what I did. Because you could do all these things as well, and you wouldn't necessarily achieve what I did. But you could become the best version of you. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. You can become the strongest possible version of you. Everyone has their own genetic potential. Everyone has their own ceiling. What you do determines whether you reach that or not. Okay, now you have the knowledge and you understand what it may take to reach that ceiling. But also understand you have a natural ceiling and an unnatural ceiling. And if you want to be natty and reach the natural ceiling, that's fucking cool, man. Good for you. Like, you have other things that are really important to you, maybe more important. And that's totally cool. That's your choice. Some of you may not feel that way. And that's okay too, because that's your decision. But I just wanted to give you the information so you know. So I've been as transparent as I can with that, right? I have absolutely taken things and I wouldn't have achieved what I did. Man, I have fucking, I've put myself in some dumb situations. I have sacrificed friendships. I've fucking damaged relationships. I've driven myself insane. I have lost my fucking marbles, man, in pursuit of something that I achieved, right? And I don't think I even achieved my ceiling, which is why I still have that itch to keep going. But as I said, if I was to do it this time around, I would do it a little bit differently. Could I be, as good as I was? We'll have to wait and see, right? I think I can be because, again, a combination of maturity, time, learning, growth, and all those things also helps. But I hope this video helps. I hope you learned something. I hope that, you have a better understanding of what is achievable, what isn't, and what goes into achieving those things, right? And before I go, just wanted to let you know that we still have our 36-inch God Killer wrist wraps. We just got more in stock, and we also got our knee wraps in stock today. They're at home waiting for me. I'm gonna get them out of the box for tomorrow's squat session and show you them. They're also for sale on my website, cultstrength.square.site. All my programs, we've got merch, hats, straps, wraps, and caps. And until next time, I think you know what to do. Go to the fucking gym, baby. Let's get it.